Hi there, and welcome back to the channel. I'm Mike, and I'm excited to share another Divi tutorial with you. My goal here is to make learning Divi as straightforward as possible. Today we're going to see how to add a dynamic, blurry background on scroll. So if that's something you're interested in, then just hit that like button below, grab your favorite beverage, and let's jump right in. So a good place to start is to actually look at an example of the outcome that we want to see. So what we're looking is, if you're looking at the header at the top here, you see it's a solid black background. But as we scroll down, you see it changes color and it becomes a bit transparent, and not only transparent, but it also blurs the items behind. So you can see as we scroll down. So this is quite a common trick that's being used in a fair amount of sites nowadays. One of the more popular ones is probably Apple. So you can see on Apple's website, when you scroll down, it also displays the things at the background. The only difference is obviously with Apple's one, they're using a white background while we're using a black background. But that's not really something you have to worry about, because once you acquire the skill and know how to do this, you can apply it to whatever color you want to use. All right, so let's just jump right into the how to do this. Well, actually, not yet. First thing is, if we jump in, I've got another page that I've created with the same content as the previous one. To get this content, all you do is you just add a new page on the Divi, and when it asks you, do you want to create from scratch, do you want to use a layout, or do you want to use AI, you just say, I want to use a layout, and in that layout you can just type in camera and it'll bring up this one for you, and you can select it and use it. But I don't think that's really what's of interest today, because the main thing that we want to do is we just want to focus on the header itself. Okay, so we want to change this header into one that's the same like this one, that works like this. All right, so how do we do so? Well, the main thing where we're going to be doing this building would then be in the theme builder. So let's just jump out of that. That's for the blurry background menu. Okay, so we want to create a new one over here, build a new template, and we only want this one to show on the transparent header. So that's the new page that we've just created. Create the template, and we want to add a custom header. Would have been easier if I just select add from the blurry one. But let's just go through this. Okay, so we want to add a row. I think the row we want is just this one over here. And then what we want to do is we want to add a menu in over there. Okay, we want to add a logo, whatever logo you have. I'm using the same one that was used in the previous tutorial. It's this one over here. Save that. And then I also want to change the menu text. But before I do so, I want to change this background color so that the menu text will stand out. So let's just change this background color to black. Okay. And then over here, we just want to go background and delete this background. Okay, so now we've got a nice place where we can work from. Menu text, I want to change it to white, but make sure you don't select the active link color, because oftentimes I click that one and then I wonder, why did my color font not change? So make sure you scroll down to where it actually says menu text color and hit that one. Then you'll see it'll change color. All right, menu font, I want to make it the Cum Sans, and I want to make it bold. And then I also want to change the text size up to 16. Okay, and finally what we want to do is we just want to center that text. All right, that's all done. I can save that, and let's go add in the button. And the button, we come in here, we say shop here, and then let's go and just do a bit of custom styling for this button. Before we do, let's actually align this to the center so that it's nicely aligned. Come back to the button, let's push this down to 16 font. We want to make our font color white. Our button background, we can make red, but I think let's be cool. Let's make it purple. That seems like a Divi color. And then we take that down. We don't want any border width because we don't want to see the border. Radius, I think we can leave those 3 pixel ones. Okay, let's go down. Next thing we want to have a look at is the button icon. So we just come here, we type in shop, and we can select this one over here. If we scroll down a bit more, it asks where do we want to put it. We want to put the icon on the left hand side, so it's going to show up. There we go. But we don't want it to show only on hover, we want it always to show. Okay, so there it is right there. Alright, now spacing. We want to make a bit of spacing at the top here. And at the bottom, give it a nice big button. We push this 55 pixels left and right. Okay, then we also want to make sure that this lines up with this. And so let's push this down maybe 10 pixels. I think that's closer. Might not be exact, but it's closer. So I think I'm happy with that as it is for now. Let's just close this. Let's go to the All right, so we want to go spacing, and we're going to take this padding away. All right. Sorry, I was just pausing earlier because I was wondering which padding to take away, because on the original one, we see it's quite small here. So I was thinking maybe on this one, we'll leave it a bit bigger so that as we scroll, you can see more of the blurry effect behind the scenes rather than that small little bar. Obviously, when you build out your website, or if you use this tutorial for your site, you want to minimize this bar as much as possible. Like even if you look at the Apple one, look how small theirs is, but they're still using this effect with great effect. So, okay, we're just going to leave it this big for now. So I think that's it. All right, let's see what this looks like on the front end. Okay, let's just register it. And let's jump into here. Okay, so there we have it. All right, so now if we scroll, basically there should be nothing that happens. Possibly even our menu will disappear. Yep, there it goes. All right, so why is that? Well, we haven't told it yet that we want this to be a sticky menu, and we've obviously definitely not said anything about it being transparent when we scroll. So let's jump back into the theme builder and let's work on that. Okay, so the very first thing we want to do is we want to make this section sticky. So advanced, let's go down to scroll effects and let's stick this to the top. All right, let's save that and save it here. Okay, let's refresh. Now if we scroll, okay, it's staying. There we go. But see the effect of how different this can be, because this pretty much just takes up and kills off most of your screen. Like behind this is all wasted. Everything that scrolls behind that, it's gone. You can't see anything of it anymore. So obviously what we want to do is we want to bring in that effect, that blurry effect, that transparent blurry effect. So how do we do so? Well, I'm not sure if it's sad news or what, but for this to happen, we do need to use some code. All right, so I am going to give a link in the description below where you can go to my blog just to copy and paste some code. So if you go to that article, it'll come up here and you just scroll down to the bottom where it says CSS, nice blue lit up here. Just copy all of this and come back into our site. Go back to the section settings, go to advanced, go to custom CSS, module elements, and scroll down to main element and just paste that in. All right. And I think we've done everything then. All right. So for this one, this custom CSS, another way that you could do it is you could actually just give it a custom class here, and you can go put the CSS wherever you are putting your CSS, whether it's in a child theme, whether it's in the theme options, all that. So you do have that variation on how you want to do this. You're not solely stuck in having to do it exactly how I did it. I'm just showing it like this because this is very likely, in my view, the easiest way. Okay, but it's not the only way. All right, so let's just save that again. Save. Let's go see what this does on the front end. Okay, let's refresh. And now if we scroll, nothing happens. All right, let's go back in here and see why that could be. Let's go see our, okay. Very easily the reason for that. We came in, we made it sticky to the top, right? So it's stuck. We then also went and we added in the custom CSS, all right, in the module element. All right, but what we did not do is we did not say that we want to change the backend color. All right, so let's go back to our background. And now you can see, because we made it sticky, we now have this extra icon that comes in over here. So if I click on that, this now, any changes that I make once selected here will be applied to the sticky element. So you can see currently sticky is set to a solid black bar, and that's why we saw what we did. Right, so if we click on this one and we just pull the transparency down to say 0.8, 0.8, there we go. And I save that, and I save that. And we go back to the front end, scroll back to the top, and we refresh that. All right, and now hold fingers. Let's see what happens. There we go. You can now clearly see that blurring effect that's happening in the background. It's quite cool. At least I think so. All right, so that's how you can easily create a dynamic blurry background on scroll for not only just a menu item or for a header, but you can create this in any section that you have created. You're not restricted to only headers. Maybe you had a call to action. Maybe you have, I don't know, something else that's a cool design within the one that you're making, but the same effect can be applied to that. So I hope this tutorial will be useful for you as you build your websites out. And if it is, do come back and let us know and just show us how you used it so that we can all learn from each other. I'm still planning to put up more Divi tutorials as I learn more about Divi. So it'll be good if you can just subscribe so that you don't lose out on any of these tutorials. Your feedback is very valuable. So if you have a comment or a question or even a suggestion for future videos, do let me know in the comments. And as always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.